or cut it, yes, and it's gone, and just maybe throw it into the car.
And to have it, the grass is not in your yard, and you go to the road to tie the animal. If you're going to spray anywhere, and you know persons tie their livestock there, please let them know. Last week I had to deal with a farmer who lost maybe 10 goats because the person sprayed where he normally ties his livestock and they didn't tell him. And he lost all of those goats, and some of them are heavily pregnant animals. So if you're going to spray somewhere and you know persons are even passing there with the animals, because they know if grass they go to go straight. So if the goat straight and get the grass, it's going to be poisoned, or she's going to be poisoned. So if you're spraying somewhere and the persons are passing with their livestock, please let them know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. McPherson. Yes, from what she said, let's communicate.
True.
Communicate with your neighbor. Be your brother's keeper. Be your sister's keeper.
Yes.
Don't even say, me no business with them. I'll just do whatever. This is my land. Please, let's take care of each other. Let's look for each other, right? Because what you build will also help me tomorrow in terms of your wealth. When I need to buy, I know that I'm going to the secretary's house to buy my sheep.
Oh, true.
And then I will have my carry what from you. And you get to pay fees for the child. You poison them all, then what's happening? She is not going to get money, and money is not going to circulate within the community.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So money will not circulate in the community. So once she has money, it's not for her to keep. She will need books for a child. And Mr. Here, you will be selling books. So the money is now in circulation. So we all get the benefits of the goats or the sheep or whatever we are taking care of. So we need to be our brother's keeper. Okay? So back to the issue of feeding. Your neighbor has maybe grass in the yard, or has the forages that we're talking of, right? Seeds, when they are mature, get the seeds. Just plant them like your fence, your life fence. And with time, you have something to feed your animals.
True.
And at the same time, it's going to provide your animals with shade. Because once animals are left out there to feed, and Jamaica is very hot, maybe this side is cool, I don't know. Since it's green and light, and down there like St. Catherine, right? Bodles. So maybe here it's cooler, but you just need to put in place your own trees, such as the legume forages. They are very good live fencing trees. So you will be benefiting both from trimming them to feed the animals with the leaves and they get the protein, and also providing shade for the animals when they are out there grazing or browsing. So you will have killed it. Amen.
Yes. Right.
We are in a season that let's harvest them, right? Let's harvest them and bag them and put them in the shed in bags. One of them had died. Why? Because she had nothing to feed them. Gas. So it could not even help itself. It could not, push it down. Then the animal died. So we have to actually take note of what are we giving to the animal, depending with the class of animal, the species of animal, right? When I say class of animal, we are talking of bull, we are talking of the back,
Mhm.
or we are talking of the pregnant animal, or we are talking of the heifer, or we are talking of the calves, or the kids, you know, the different
Stages.
stages and the different classes.
Yeah.
Different, because what you feed a pregnant goat or sheep should be different from what we are feeding
Joe.
animal. If the animal is in lactating, what is happening there?
She a feed others.
Need
She,
more nutrients because they are suckling
and they need a higher amount.
and amounts,
Mhm.
more nutrients and everything.
Nutritious diet, that's what it needs, in a higher amount, like you said. So we have to take note of our huh? No records. That is where the problem is. Once you don't keep records, you can't keep track of your animals.
Joe.
You should have a book at your farm where you record your animals. If you have 5 goats, right? Divide your page, your date, write how many females do we have. If they have names, just put down the names of those female goats,
Yes.
right? Then if we have a back, you say back, you back name Anna. And if you have kids, just indicate how many kids you have, right? When they were born, you should also record. Okay, female, sorry, my what? How many months gestation period?
105 days ago.
So from the day that they met, you should start observing on any changes that are happening with Maria.
Yeah.
What if the male and the female is together, you don't know when they meet? How you going?
No, never have understanding that.
Oh.
Come on, get
That's when you have a bigger flock. It seems like she have a bigger flock, and she does, for example, know say first of April she let in the book with, for example, 20 female. So she's asking how you would know what time that one. But for a group of animals, then you would look from that date. You understand? But you not get the exact animal, then you would look from that date. You understand? But you not get the exact thing.
Okay. I see. So, okay. I see. So what happens if you have a group of animals? You need to know when to.
Jamaicans,
Yeah.
they run to road with their.
Yes. So usually you should be having the birds separated from the females when they go when they are kept in the house, right? In the pen, right? Once they are separated, then when you look at your flock every morning, you should see the signs from the females that they are ready for a bath. How do you see them? Very good question. Who can tell us how do you tell? We call them, we say that they are on heat. So how do you differentiate a female on heat and a female that is not on heat?
Keep crying.
Well, depending on some livestock.
No, it doesn't.
Huh?
This female keep on crying.
Crying, but what if it's in pain, it's crying?
It depends on the livestock because there is the standing heat that you can observe. Standing heat is where you apply pressure to the back of the animal and they don't move. If they don't move, they're already remoted. If they move, they're not ready to be remoted. That is one side.
Yes.
So what is the other side?
So from what Ms. McPherson has just explained, it means as a farmer, before your animals go out, you should test for that,
Yeah, true.
right?
Okay.
You just tap it on its back. The other signs, it will be going up and down. And like what is said, the tail is
Yeah, right,
continuously,
exactly.
And there is the redness in the bubble.
and yes, if you look at the vulva, it's red in color. And you might find that it will be producing a mucus from the vulva to show that it's ready. Right. So those are the signs that our animal is what?
Ready.
Is ready to heat. Yes, you want to
Another
answer?
situation I do. Part of the buck from the female, so once it starts talking on the fence to the buck.
Thank you. Yes. That's another one. So you see, like we said, you separate the bark from the females. So once the females are going to the fence to attract the bark, it means they are ready. And the fact that the vulva is red and it's producing that mucus, that's also called like what you call pheromones. Like there's a certain smell that comes with it to attract the bark. So that is what causes the attraction. So once you see those things, then you let the bark to go with the flock. Right? So once they go with the flock, you already notice the ones that are showing signs.
What some farmers also do, we that in Jamaica, many of us just let the buck run with the flock. Some persons use a marker that rubs off when the female is mounted. So once the marker is rubbed off, or the tape, there's a tape that I think when it rubs off, it becomes orange or something like that. But it rubs off and another color appears. So you know that that sheep or goat or cow or whatever the livestock is has been mounted.
Okay. Yes. You understood?
Yes.
Who do you mark? Who do you mark?
The female.
The female is the one that carries the mark.
Yes.
So you mark it along the back near to the tail where once it is mounted, it is rubbed.
So, did we understand that?
Yes.
Can somebody repeat it?
Mark the female to the tail. So once the buck mounted, it rub off. You see that?
But it's not on the tail, it's not.
On the back, in the
On the
back,
back,
on the back.
lower back.
So, she spoke of a certain color, right?
Yes.
That once that color is rubbed,
Yes.
it turns to another color.
Yes.
So once that's, let's say you're blue. you mark with the female on the back with the blue color.
Yes.
Then the back mount. That's a next,
Yes.
right? Or if the type of paint doesn't change color, it's not mounted,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And then there's also another thing that farmers use, I think it's on the tail, that it senses when the animal is in heat. So I think it changes color, so I'm not sure if it is in small stuff as it's on the larger ruminants.
Okay. Yes. So those are all methods that are used to help us. The markers, the observations, they are all those methods to help us, guide us, that our females are ready to mate. So then, once that is done, you record. It comes back from the flow comes back from the bush or from the pastures. Then you see the color changes. And that date that has happened, you record it. So from there, you start observing and looking out for signs of pregnancy. Right? Somebody's hand was up. Your hand is up? No? Your hand was up?
Your hand.
Oh.
Did you raise your hand?
No.
Okay, all right. So those are the signs that we have to look out for when they are looking to put records in place. So once you have your dates in place, then you start counting the months that, the days that.
This.
Yes.
Some of
You
it
start-
30, some of it 30.
So from about 30 days, you should be in a position to see physically that this animal is now pregnant. So once it's in the first trimester, it's in the first month, or you have to now start preparing the diet, changing the diet. Make sure it's nourished, well nourished. It has the protein, so that's where your legumes, more grass, the greens come into place. So you are now feeding it so that it gains more muscle and also be able to carry the kids inside. And that way, your animals will give healthy kids. So the stages of pregnancy also calls for different amounts of feeding. You cannot just say you are giving it 2 pounds per day. It's pregnant, you remain at 2 pounds. The pregnancy is growing, it's going to be saturating or to drop down, you still give 2 pounds. No, you increase. The animal is nearly saturating or dropping down. Let's say it's about 2 weeks to go. You should not give high plain of carbohydrates. Because, especially the big feed at that stage, you should not give too much. You should just give a little to support, and you have these forages more, because it's prone to constipation, which might also disturb the birthing process. And if the animal is not also in good condition, body condition, it is also going to have challenges of dystocia. We all know what dystocia is about. Huh? Okay, I'm going to explain my kids, or it might even push out, in trying to push out, it might even force out the uterus itself, and then you'll be in trouble. So you will have to be calling an animal health expert, the vet, to correct that. So let's look out on what we are feeding our animals. Let's keep records. Even if the animal is sick and you give it medication, write down on the date that you gave it, what did you give to it, and how many meals of injection you gave to it, meals of injection you gave to it, so that if anybody comes out at your farm, they can easily understand. Comes out at your farm, they can easily understand on what is happening, and they can know that, oh no, this injection was given already. Maybe we might need to change, to switch to another one. But I also encourage you to be using the locally available forages. There are forages like Lucina. It also has the what we call anti-emetic factors, whereby if you get the animal to eat the Lucina leaves, they also have that thing which would kill the internal parasites. We have reduced, and you can also give some dosages to your animal to kill the internal parasites in a cheaper, sustainable manner. Thank you very much for your attention.
What she was also saying, there are two things. When it comes to your record, there are persons who, in order to sell a livestock, they want to see your record. There are persons who are not going to buy your sheep or your goat if they're not seeing where you're doing proper record. That's one. Another farm group that's in Cedar Valley, they were doing a trial with a university in the US. Now, based on the trial, they are saying that the forages and the legumes that we have available in Jamaica, it greatly impacts the health of our livestock here, which makes it a better quality meat here in Jamaica. So our meat, compared to those in America, is greater. So now they are coming out here to see if they can source our materials that we are out here not using to carry back to the US to introduce to their livestock diet. They are saying the taste of our livestock meat is superb compared to theirs because it's back feed mix A they are using. Where we have the chicken here, the different legumes here that they want. So it is best that we continue to invest in what we have because no other countries is coming out here to get it to carry back to their country. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to pack it and send it right back here and we're going to buy it. And we have it out here free. The chicken here and the rest of the legumes are easy to plant. You break a stem, stick it in the ground, and I eat that. And as she said, it's a fence post, so if you can't afford to go buy a wood post or whatever, the same chicken here can be used, you plant it as a fence post. The cuttings, you use whatever you can always go cut those things and give it to them. It's cheaper. And then the bag feed, if you don't know the control bloating, you may end up feed the animal, the bag feed, bloat up the animal, no one know you have to call vets for spending money where you don't have, or you're going to lose that good animal you could have sell because you don't feed it from bag feeding and don't know where you feed it. So,
Until the bad feeding of persons don't know. Yeah, can give them too much because the women are married. Let's say you can give them up to pound and a half per day. We never reach pound and a half. The first measure pound per day. Because me, the home, and most and more, we won't go home every time. Like the one in the part of much and pieces. If it's too much feeding, you come out lump like now one. Because they don't have enough fiber at night to come out as how it's supposed to come out.
and another thing is, well, persons recommend that they use the bag feed in the evening and not in the morning as well. So I'm not sure if you can attest to that, but that's what I was recommended because I had some bloating with my herd, and I was recommended to feed bag feed. Well, I no longer feed bag feed. I cut off that strictly, and
Feed at what time?
evening. They say it's best to feed in the evening, the bag feed. So even if you're giving them the grass, if you're going to give them bag feed, they're saying evening.
Okay. Well, what I would say pertaining that, from my observation at Bodles research station, in the morning, the animals go out to graze. Be it the dairy cows, the goats, they go out to graze. Then when they come back, if it's the dairy cow, they are given back feed with like the milking sessions. They're being given breastfeed in the morning when they're 5 o'clock a.m. milking. Then after that they go out to graze. Then they come back, we have a 2 o'clock milking. So when they come back from the pasture, they also get breastfeed because it's for the milk.
Yeah, for the oxytocin.
Processing for oxytocin and increased milk yield. So they get that breastfeed during that time at 2 o'clock. Then from there, after the milking from the parlor, they move to the shed where they will feed on the grass that has been cut and carried. Then when we go to the goats in the morning, they are grazed in the morning, they go out in the pasture, whilst the men, the pen, So when they come back in the afternoon or evening, they give them the little back feed or the grass when they come back.
They said that practice reduce the chance of bloating.
Well, I think in a way, I don't know, I will have to research more on that to actually know what is the reason behind it. But all I can say is that when they feed them that way, and they come back in the evening, then they feed. But for us, it's not exclusive feeding on the back feed. We are mixing. We have the grass, we have the what? The back feed. So it's not like they get back feed like on daily basis, but the grass is a must. So maybe the way we feed, it also allows them to ruminate so that they don't experience this bloat. And also the amount of back feed you are giving is what also contributes to bloating. So that is where we need to be also careful about. But I've seen animals going out to the pasture first, then come back to feed in the evening, or either the back feed or, except for pigs, of course, which yeah.
Alright, so another thing she touched on is still catching on it you see more brown and you see green. So right now, if the grass as you cut it, it spring up back. If you put little chicken manure on it or the same good pieces as she was saying, you put it on it, spring up back. If now you can get some healthy ferment, so it's like it cook, it's not going to spoil because you have to ensure it is airtight. You leave that in your shed or wherever you can leave it undisturbed. You don't use that until we go into the drought time. You can't feed, as she said, the bread and yeast that are going to ferment. Other things will ferment, like some persons use biscuit. Then go to the factory, you get the biscuit, them or whatever. Then you can get from the baking factories them and feed it. But it will ferment, especially if you feed it in large volume during the time when we don't have grass. If you have those things put one side until those time, you will always have feeding. That's a good thing to start practice from now, because we're going to go back into that time again.
As I said, the ferment, the silage. How long is that silage can be?
Silage.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. That would be hay, right? So when it's highly nutritious at this time, when they are green, that's when you cut your silage, you put them in the drum, you can a layer of your grass, a layer of your chicken area, you know, those things. But you can substitute molasses and then chop it and mix it up. It will substitute the molasses. And chop it up and mix up your grasses, and you also use urea, but it's not much, just a little. Maybe you can just use a little cup of urea, but if you don't have, that's fine, don't use it. And also don't use much urea because it might be toxic to the animals if it's used in excess. So if you don't have or you don't know how to use it, just leave it out. So you can chop all the greens that we have with your can, substituting molasses, then you mix it up and then you compress those grasses in the drum. You compress it so that it becomes airtight. Then, like what Ms. McPherson said, you put the plastic and then you tie it around so that there's no air that. Yes. And when you make it, you can start feeding after 3 months going forward. But you can even keep it for 3 to 5 years.
As long as you don't let them irrigate.
Yes, as long as you do the right thing, don't let air in, you don't let moisture in, like rain, it won't go bad. Because if you let in air, if you let in water into it, it will develop molds, it will spoil. So once it has molds, your animals are going to be so intoxicated, it is toxic, so they would die. So you need to be very careful, okay? Any more questions?
What me personally, one we put a container under the container, don't have that. Just container with out with fish.
Yes, so it's either you conserve in form of silage, or once the grass is already dry, that will be your hay, you cut your dry grass and also put it in a good shade. Make sure that the what do you call them, the mice don't eat the grass. You see rats running around, let's not have those in place. All right, thank you so much.
Oh, wow. I learned a lot of things. Did you learn something today? Did you learn something today?
I said, a good farmer makes the asking some serious question.
And by some chance, I think he's the biggest wood farmer inside here at the moment. So he was keen this during the presentation, very keen. So I want to say that was a beautiful presentation. I am hoping that you are prepared to come back to us very soon, because we are going into a different year where we are looking at small ruminant in a serious way. And for farmers to be serious in small ruminant, we need to know what to do. We can't just say, boy, we're a farmer, because sometimes you're frightened. You know, say, boy, goats can't eat hay and feeding, bag feeding too much cause problem, etc. So we need the knowledge in terms of how to keep them and how to give them good nutrition, for them to grow healthy. And she talked about the different stages. You have the kid stage, the mother stage, the lactating, the pregnancy stage, etc. So you have to know how to feed them differently and all of that. So also, which is very important, the fodder conservation method. She talked about hay and she talked about silage. Preserving your fodder is very important. We are going into another drought season. Last year was rough. Very rough. We have a good grass spot in a man somewhere around a dump way. Me and this man will cut African star for goat. A war on there. When I say war, not literal war, but some gunman from all boat just a come in. But where we go, all bus they load up. Markets they load up. Some car we see a load grass, we couldn't believe. So what business really and animal rearing is big business. If you are serious, there's a lot of money to be made from it.
And with the new face of food now going around, the goat business is definitely going to go, because the focus is now on small movements.
Yes. So
Government is investing or looking for persons who are interested in it. Let's start with them.
yes, I was at the St. Catherine Face of Food launch online. I wasn't able to be there in person, but myself and Miss McPherson was there online. And Miss Brown said, boy, we have big goat business. Because money in the end, as we say, you have your challenges where man come and teeth your goat. But money in it. And that too. But again, goat business, you know, I know what me used to. When me used to as a child growing up in this community, was scared push with goat to a bush and tie them, but that don't work again. Yeah. Alright, so you see, right, so also goat can be fed like chicken now. What do I mean? Them have them different places where they housing. Goat now if you go to feed again, you bring the feed that you conserve to them, the hay and the silage, etc. and give to them. You understand? You added minerals and whatever they need. So we have a lot to cover. And I'm sure that we will get the help that we need, and that to give us some more knowledge, because we really appreciate it. And like we said, we want to push livestock, push small ruminant, and also the fodder aspect. So we really thank you, and we learned so much. So give her another.
A lot of farmers don't want grass and you have a whole heap of silage,
Mhm.
they can market that.
Yes. All
So
right.
these are things they can also look at because agriculture is business.
True. And as I talk about that, a gentleman in Olava name is a Facey,
Like
right?
they-
Near Byron, Bryla, the place where they do the processing of chicken. His goat house got burned down. And you know what he did? When I use make whole heap of money, you work the whole heap of land is open up on the side there, so him cut it down and make it and sell.
Because where
I'll
I
send
live, I
here in
can see
Sydney.
the deliveries and
Mhm.
on a regular size vehicle
Yeah.
come purchase
Mhm.
and pass with it. So you know, so that is big business. And another hard thing because Africans are easy to get.
True.
You drop it out there, so, and you run out to the whole place.
True. Yeah, and definitely I want to show you this picture. This is what they were talking about, the markup
That's one of
attached to the, one of them. And when it jump up on the female, it just make a mark. Everybody see? Oh, okay. Alright, you can send it. Send it. Alright, I'll send it in the group.
There's the sticker one as well that
Yeah.
rubs, when it rubs itself, when you rub on it, it changes color.
Right.
So that is like the expensive version.
And you know it's not expensive. It's under $50 on the Amazon.
But if you have only for animals, you kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another line of business. You can buy them for sale.
You're right.
Those that can't access Amazon can buy from you.
You're right. You're right. So.
You don't sell it, but
Oh, sorry. One thing I left out: identification. Identification, animal identification. It's very important. You need to have tags for the animals so that you can identify the difference between hair from hairs. And if your animal is stolen, you are able to claim it from the police station. Once they pick out those bad guys, you are able to identify your animals. But if you don't have that identification in place, you can't tell the police that this is my goat. What is the proof?
and in the tagging a piece of the DNA is removed. So what
That's
the
how you
new
can
face
do.
of no, for most of them.
Oh, they are going to do the tagging for goat now?
So the new face of food is saying that if your livestock is stolen, the DNA from the meat sample with the DNA that was collected during the time of tagging can be used to identify that yes, this is your animal now being stolen. Another thing is that the same RADA book that you're encouraged to purchase. Now, if I go to your farm as a RADA officer and you don't raise goat, and when you use your receipt book and go write goat on it, and it got traced back, and when you look at the radar system and don't see a goat, now you are identified as a thief because the system is say you're a goat farmer. So be careful with what you write on your book as well.
Yeah,
So the book is also a tracing thing as well.
I like that. So definitely the tagging. You know what I want to ask about the tracker. Are there any tracker? I know that Miss Brown did said about 2 years ago that I was testing out about 5 of the trackers. Any update on that?
Currently, it's because of budget constraints that are holding on to that, but it will be put in place because it was discussed that those things needs to be a part of the face of food, new face
Okay.
of food.
I
Yes.
like that. And I know they're talking about the geofencing for
Yes.
certain type of security to parameter around your operation, that if any intruder enters, then it would send a signal to the security. But you know, that's an additional cost. But if we are going into business, we have to think about, we have to pay money for your money. So if me lose 5 good, I'm gonna pay security rate. It makes sense. You understand? But I am encouraging everybody to get involved in goat and sheep operation, whatever livestock you can. And goat and sheep eat far less food than cow. The truth is, I can say this unapologetically. Cow business are rubbish to goat. The only thing is that goats are more easily to take away. But when you look at the amount of grass and the cow have to eat, are rubbish. And you can sell 2 goats, sometimes 1 goat. And the money when you get feed would come like rubbish you go.
I know a farmer right now selling a 3-month boar for 80,000.
Alright?
It's just 3 months.
Yeah.
So imagine.
That's a minimum price. That's a minimum
And
price.
that's the minimum, because boar go to go feel, well, hey, if you're not, if you're 100,000, you put 100,000, you can't talk to these
I mean,
farmers.
say 400 and plus.
Right now, one goat, you buy one carry these days.
Yes. Yes.
I'm looking at I'm looking at
Cheap for one soul, man say, and then nobody can touch you here to less than 180 feet.
Yeah, man. That's true.
Especially the poor, where they do half pure blood.
Mhm.
You can't get the money feet. Some
Yeah.
people pay sell house and land to get them.
How many of you right here would have spent 100,000 and buy one goat? Seriously? You would need brother here?
No, sir.
Alright. You would need? You would need brother Bennett?
No, but just spend the money back in now,
Alright. Hold on. Hear what this lady said. Talk now.
It's not a cow.
So you're not buying to that?
No, but
But the truth is,
they spend the 100 by the quote, and by the time you sell it back, you sell it back with 200. That way she said which quote me find with 200. The other day they were selling some kids to sell them.
yes, man. Yes. Yeah, man, expensive. And remember, I was.
So when they're really sold, the
Yes.
person can make the money they back 2 times, 3 times.
True.
But that's the thing now, you see, when you're in agriculture, it's a gamble.
Yes, man. And really, it's not a gamble to me, you know.
Animal is not a gamble because, but if you get a woman one,
So when you have the goat, not only our local goat, now sell them.
no, but the rural goat, if you mix it with the pure blood, that's how because the native mothers are good. If you mix the native mothers with those, you get the kid. You can sell the kid for 80 and 100.
Yeah.
Because those are recognized as half blood. Their money is still high.
Yeah. So seriously, it's big business.
And look at it, if by the time the kid reach 3 months, you don't have to raise them a full term animal. 3 month time, you run out that they said, breed back the mother, 3 month time again, you run out it. In a no time, you have to
Yeah. It's just library.
if you can get the
The buyer is there. The buyer has no problem.
The one little $80,000 quote, the more 3 buyer want to ride.
Say this.
And if a woman one, if money can't.
And then take us to some, she said they can get buyer. Over the world, boat meat is the shortest meat.
Where they say that meat, they do the test?
Huh?
Where in the meat, where they say they do the test for the meat?
Which test?
They were discussing that when they do the sample, if they can test about the meat with the sample.
Oh,
So
the
I don't remember where it was.
VSD, Veterinary Service Division, will take a sample and bring it to their facility to do the testing.
So the meat where them selling a listed market, you think them test?
No.
No.
What we are saying is just the case where you have encountered real larceny.
One at a time.
Mr. Roland, for the instant, for example, you have the animal and you're missing 5 of them, and the police suspect that you can check the listed market, and they go with the VSD crew, the veterinary service crew. They are mandatory to take samples of any meat they choose, and if they go in the lab, and because your animal did tag, the particular points to you and say that Mr. Roland, what you know, we can chase just by the meat.
So, if you eat meat and you go to the listed market, they put you up on meat.
I don't get that. Anybody get what he said? You know.
No, listen,
You get what he said? No, Come again.
you know when they sell meat, it's supposed to look clean.
Yes?
And it's clean. Listed market not clean.
Oh, I get where you're going now. Alright. Definitely, I am just encouraging you to get involved. No matter how small. And when you get involved in that program, you don't frighten you see I buy one goat for 200,000 and it come like nothing. It's a price lead.
One of my farmer was literally driving a entire Jamaica to get one ram.
Yeah.
And he get the ram right now, and the thing about it that
Wow.
and right now, it's like because the females are harder to get, it's a demand for the female. So right now, in back at it out here again, a search for the female. He went as far as Portland to get it. The brown one with the white. They're expensive, but they're worth it at the end because the more time you get the meat is produced, the more time. It's not like when you take a web to get almost here and not. You reach multiple facts.
And even me can give example. You see Mr. Bryce here, a native goat. And him gonna improve him ramming by a big breed ramming. You over 200,000. And right now he used to sell one like a ramming for 15,000. He must sell a ramming right now 80,000 and up. I mean a graded, but when you put it on scale, himself on the scale, Christmas him now have goat to sell. Yeah, we sell a live weight, I think it was 700.
Yes.
A reasonable price he was going for Christmas, 700 live weight. But at the end, you get back the return. Your animal grow faster.
Whereas with the native I take a year before it.
Go along. Same as the guinea grass. Anybody? Guinea grass. Right now we have a new one named Mombasa. My friend give me, Mr. Bryce, one little plant. You want to see me out now? Right now. This time we take care of the grass them. It look like a pretty happy man on them. And we just multiply. Because we take from the seed, we just root up and take the suckers and plant. And quick time. Right now, the African star pasture we plant up. We have to turn in our Mombasa pasture. It's amazing to see how the grass grow. It's just
I
amazing.
want to replace the African style because during drought time, the African style is always there. There's a grass that not failure.
But the thing is, I wish I had a lot of land space. So you see, because I have a little land space there, I think the Mombasa. But me still now here at the African Star, because I work so hard to plant it. But I'm just telling you, I buy loads of chicken manure. People don't wonder, let the money alright. You buy chicken manure. And when manure me pass, sometimes the man is me at the man say, what the way am I going with? A grass, the man is me have manure. Who say never see it? Sometimes one lie down and roll line. Honestly. And the fence line, because the sheep when stop up me yard. The sheep them, I keep them in the yard. So then keep the yard clean. And at the fence line, because it is not a concrete fence, I buy the sheep wire. And if the thing never on I just put it on the camera and let us see. Quick stick along the fence line. So each time, right now, I don't have any goat at my house because of what happened in December. I only have few cows and I'm on a feed that system. And when we got the quick stick, like today, tomorrow when we are blending on the machine with the Mombasa and the King, we kind of mix it. Because them fat and pretty. So we give a mixture. So we use those as far as them. I go stand up, I put a nail in them because when you plant them at the fence line, I recommend you put nail in them so fast. Ain't nothing to put any nail to me. Because you don't affect the tree. But feeding Gian, I want you to give me back a visit. But I'm just telling you the importance of grass. Animal eat grass. Goat eat grass. How can you go wrong? How can you go wrong? So seriously, even though we discourage now, but when they say discourage, we don't really discourage now. Because I have to put certain more things in play. I don't even stop. I
No, me say you don't discourage to stop.
No. So right now, I'm looking at to do it as a business. Then we have to get a security with their night time and when we go, because I have to work. When we go to work, then you must say place is covered. So I'm looking at ways to improve. So at the meantime, I just kind of convert my goat pen into a feedlot system. And it's working wonders, so I'm just spinning out now. I'm going to do the goat pen and to have a better facility. But goat is with my heart. Cow, waste of time. You can tell you straight as a cow farmer. You can tell you, cow, waste of time. Farmer. That is a community. And cow, no cow, waste of time. Me now encourage nobody. Me now tell us not buy cow. But me personally, based on my experience, cow, a waste of time, and I'm saying that based on experience. Goat, a big goat, sheep, especially sheep. Oh my goodness, I love sheep, man. But the teeth, them, man. But we are going to fix the problem, man. Hen breed a last thing, and I'm really encouraging to get involved. I still would like to take a sample of some of the grasses in the area to go back to analyze at Bodles. The African Star Pasture, they are still active, but their farm is still active? Grass in it now? Okay, and perhaps if we get some guinea grass. My pasture is not here. My farm is down in Jericho. Not sure they hear that here. Near the rod office.
Okay.
Very near the rod office. I have Mombasa deer, guinea grass, and African Star. I have a little Rockera, and the same line, quick stick and so on, and mulberry and so forth. But for up here, you can surely get African Star and guinea grass,
Okay.
if that would be alright.
Yes, that's fine.
Alright? What we have to discuss now? We just going to do a quick okay, we are going to present this. I'm going to present it. We have to say we ensure.
Also, the limit space of food is not only for livestock farmers. If you have large land, government is now encouraging persons to plant ackee,
Breadfruit,
ackee,
mango.
breadfruit, mango, sweet potato, because they know of markets in the UK and other places that is demanding it. I think there's also a cocoa. Everybody know cocoa?
Yeah, coffee.
No, cocoa.
What about chocolate?
The one where you make chocolate? Yeah. It's coming back now because there's a market in the UK demanding it. So that is coming back now. So there is a variety now available that is much more resistant. I think it's color escape that is giving it. But there is a market for it now in the UK. So they are encouraging persons to plant it as well.
Okay, that is nice. So you see there's a lot of opportunities, and you as the farmer, the government is saying, man, get involved. You understand? I think they have a lot more to do, but at least it's a start. Because the biggest challenge we have right now is land. I am searching on the places on land at St. Anne here, or even near St. Catherine or Northern Clarendon side, and I still can't get any. If you know any down your side, I would be happy to know Mr. Steele. But probably we're quite afraid of the Kingston here. I was getting some in Milk River, Clarendon, 100-acre, but I don't like that here no time at all. The farmers down there, so when the man can come by your farm, then they just come for the animal. Sometimes you are 6 feet 6 down, and that is not good at all. So I'm really looking for some land.
For my whole called the office asking what can rather do with the fact that he had to stand up and watch some man with some long guns loading animal in an empire and all he can do is stand up. And if that you remember, there's a farmer in the group in the new face that said he has 400 head of goats and he has been sleeping in the pen. He has no home.
That's the farmer.
Because his neighbor next door lost
37. Yeah, that's the farmer that I get the Mombasa from.
So the person is sleeping in his pen because
So it's well armed?
I'm not sure he didn't go into further into that because that was what he asked the minister. We are promoting the goat business, but how is it that we're going to do the security?
Come here, that's why I say, you see, who forget the gun, not getting the gun.
Yeah.
Right.
And you who have your business, you have one secure your business, you can't get a license.
That was what he was saying to the minister. He said that he went to get his license and he didn't get it. He wasn't approved. Remember the 400 vote.
And then you can just go out
by
and might
just
go and
80. That's a million right there.
and use your kidney for them.
Yeah,
Why
but
you
I
watch
feel
On
it.
average, the man maybe have $32 million right there. So
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's true.
government find it difficult. And that's minimum now because we just calculated it at $80,000. And
Yeah.
it can be more than $80,000 feet. And a minimum 32, and they don't give him a license.
Yeah, so FLA need to do better. I feel that was raised in the meeting, and I can tell you that some results had been reached already. I've spoken to the gentleman sometime this week. And you see, sometimes it's just sad they have to be in certain forum for things to happen. And it is so sad because if we are thinking about agriculture, and if you even look at how the US people do farming, then give them certain concession or certain loan privilege where they can buy the equipment, because if you have equipment and land available to you, money can make, and the government can get back pay for it easy, at the same time you're feeding everybody, so we really need to have a bigger conversation about this, because it's wide, it's deep, and as we go along still we will get to it. So at this time,
One thing, for our crop farmers, let us not just stick to the livestock farmers, for our crop farmers, I think there is, a demand for the yellow yam. It's not the black, which is the round leaf yellow yam. I think there's no export demand, for that yam.
oh,
So that is where the PRO and those persons come in, so that, the marketing officer rather knows what, yam or whatever yam ready. If the yam scratch up, you let in all kind of bacteria, and automatically that is like, it will get discarded.
true,
So be careful when you dig your yam and something there.
yeah.
Same with your sweet potato, because as I said, there's a demand now for it.
Alright, very interesting.
Things
Mr.
like when I
Johnson,
don't
you
get
have-
as well because our mineral content and everything, it make it far above most countries.
Alright. Mr. Johnson.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, for a long time, I had mentioned, with the corporation, in my father time, they used